Good day, everyone. I am Regine Sharid Katangi, and today we're going to talk about a really interesting topic: the civil rights and civil liberties. Civil rights and civil liberties are terms that are often used synonymously. The distinction between the two has always been blurred, and today the concepts are often used interchangeably. So, what is civil right and civil liberty, and how do they differ? Civil liberties are rights and freedoms given to a resident or citizens of a country's legal system. These include things like freedom of speech, freedom of religious worship, and freedom of assembly. But how do we exercise these rights in our daily life? Let's take for example. The world is in the midst of a public health crisis. Because of this, a public emergency has been declared. In an emergency public health event, governments can restrict our civil liberties. But those restrictions must be necessary and narrowly tailored to fit the situation, and they cannot last forever. Let's take a look at the cause of the declared emergency and its restrictions. State and local governments telling us to stay at home to keep us away from the exposure of the contagious virus. Residents are told not to gather in groups of more than 2 people. But are these restrictions of our freedom of assembly necessary to fit the specific public health emergency we're facing? Yes, they are. If we disobey, possibly thousands more people across the country will die. Unfortunately, the end is not yet visible because the virus is the one who can call the shots on that. But the important thing is, our government is setting dates for re-evaluation of the restrictions they set. Those restrictions are intended to be in place for only as long as is absolutely necessary. So, we can safely say that the restrictions on our freedom of assembly are appropriate, at least at the moment. And how about our civil rights? What does it mean? And how does it work? Civil rights concern the basic right to be free from unequal treatment based on certain protected characteristics such as race, gender, and disability in settings like employment, education, housing, and access to public facilities. When people are discriminated based on those characteristics, that discrimination is a violation of their civil rights. Although civil rights apply to all citizens, they specifically protect those who are particularly at risk for unfair treatment. Now, do we exercise our civil rights? And what are the rights that we enjoy in our everyday life? We can vividly see our civil rights in what we do every day. Like for example, when we post in social media about an issue that we're interested in. That's already an example of exercising our freedom of speech and expression. Also, we are free to post anything we want. New clothes, shoes, as well as our opinions on certain things. It is our right. But it's important to remember our limitations. Make sure that what you post will not be a violation of other people's rights. We are very lucky to be able to live in a free country that lets us exercise our civil rights and liberty. It allows us to live our life as we wish. However, we must never take this for granted or allow it to be taken away from us. Our freedom comes with a great responsibility. We must always remember for our rights and help each other. As students and Filipinos, we must never forget to recognize our freedom by treating each other with respect, regardless of our differences. That's all for this video, and thank you for watching. Bye!